Welcome back, my fellow duplicants, to Oxygen Not Included. This is the Megabase Challenge, and in today's episode here, we're going to be continuing to explore the exosuit concept, where you're going to always be in your exosuit and be able to run anywhere inside the base. Now, in yesterday's episode, or shall I say the one I uploaded today, Bubbles ran down here and has the ability to jump inside of an exosuit. However, this system doesn't really work because there's a suit checkpoint that is outside of her room, so therefore she'll end up dropping the suit over here as opposed to coming back to her room. Now, this was also one of these topics that you guys, I think I literally triggered the internet. I triggered all of you guys about door access. So I'll be working on the door access so that it works with all of these different suits. But you're all absolutely right. In order to have this system work and work correctly, we need to restrict the movement of the duplicants inside of their own specific room so that they can only pick up their own suit and put it on. As was mentioned 41 times in only the first 10 hours of the video being live. So, I'll be working on the door access. You guys also left a lot of good comments about the polluted water giving off a lot of polluted oxygen. So that's going to be another point that I'm going to have to focus on, but not in this video. That'll be for the other experiment that I'm working on right now. One trick that you guys were talking about is that I could leave a little bit of clean water on top of the polluted water so that it doesn't continuously make more and more polluted oxygen. So that is one, I guess, good way to kind of cap off that resource, or you could potentially build it so that it has a funnel and you could just put clean water on top. I suppose that's all a really good thing, so some really good recommendations there so that I don't overpressurize my base with horrible polluted oxygen. But as we can see, we got about 20.7 kilograms up there. I'm actually quite curious to see just how high that might go. Now, I could find a way to close this off. So one of the ways I'll be able to kind of keep that polluted oxygen from going throughout my base, what I can do is use a water lock. And that was actually mentioned as an idea for moving through this area over here so that all of this high pressure polluted oxygen in this space doesn't make its way back through the mechanicalized airlocks over here. Because right now, simply having this high pressure over here is causing problems. So having a water lock over here is going to be a good thing. So that's going to be one of my goals today, is to build a little bit of a water lock there, and also to build out the rest of these exosuit docks and attempt a full base duplicate exosuit system so that they're all running around in their little bubble heads, and we'll see how that all works out. So in order to do that, I think I'll be getting, or I'll at least be moving the massage tables here. Alright, so in order to cut everybody's access off to this shower so that they don't keep coming in here and lining up and just to use the shower, although I thought it was really interesting for the moment that it was there, to save the world, we will do this, okay? And then we'll turn that number on or whatever. There we go. So now only Bubbles can get through this pneumatic air door right there. So that'll be great. Matter of fact, I could do the same thing over here, and I could put another door over on this side if I want other people to come in here and be able to use the shower. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop a ladder over here so that duplicants can get access to this shower, but they can't go inside of this zone where Bubbles will be sleeping here. So Elaine Rhines also mentioned a really helpful comment here, is to set the permissions for the exosuit checkpoint has a clearance of vacant. So if I turn that on, what you can see here is that duplicants wearing suits will pass by the arrow and unequip their suits only if there is room available in the attached lockers, which should mean that they don't end up, well, the door access might take care of that, but if there was another spot potentially over here, if I just hit vacant, maybe that would work. I don't know. I want to explore that, but that was a good thing that he pointed out there, because that's a little, a little button there that might actually make a big difference. Okay, so when I requested a suit over here, Bubbles is the only one that can collect a suit and bring it back, which she did not do. So maybe the correct thing is to have access here, and then let this one be wide open so anybody can bring a suit back. We'll see. We'll play around with the doors a little bit. And then we're gonna rip all of this stuff up because we don't need it anymore. So there we go. Marie was able to drop the suit off. Now the thing about this is that I don't think I have enough oxygen that's running through that pump in order to fill up these suits. Like, there just simply may not be enough. I have 5 duplicates, all consuming about 100 grams a second, although Meep actually consumes less. So I think I have about 450 grams a second of consumption, which is kind of on, in line with a gas pump, really. So I might need a secondary filling system in order to make this work. I suppose one of the tricks with this is that I can just get rid of these gas vents. Like temperature, no, temperature is still going to be a thing. I still need those. Because they have to live in this little room overnight, so they can't roast to death. Nothing's worse than roasting to death while you're trying to sleep. I mean, that's just like terrible. So a good spot for a gas pump is right down here next to the, this electrolyzer, because that electrolyzer is producing oxygen. So if I move that gas pump, matter of fact, if I kind of move both of these, I can get more production out of that electrolyzer without more cost because it's making more hydrogen as well. I've been watching this show on Netflix, Dark Matter. So, I mean, it's got me all psyched up about doing this exosuit thing. I like it. It's a good show, by the way. Bam, and the power's already plugged in. The system's working too well. Alright, so for these doors, I cannot leave them open all the time. Even though I can still get the room buff because they're open, they have to be set to auto so that they can close and keep people out. So that's, I guess, one slight disadvantage. However, I think what we can gain here is one serious advantage, especially if, this works and works well. I don't know about all the power. Like, how much power does this thing use? 120 watts, but when does it use it? Just like when it's filling or something? Probably. Man, I gotta pump a lot of oxygen in order to fill up these suits. I mean, this one here is just getting to the point where it's about to be full. There might be something to this to where I have to create a queue of pipe that's large enough to, like, fill these things overnight. Otherwise, there's a good chance my duplicates can go to bed, come back the next day, and not have enough oxygen inside of their suit to, like, make it through the day. Interesting. I wonder what's going to happen. Well, so far they keep bringing the suits back, so this seems to be working out well now. Except for nobody's dropping off this suit. Come on, pick it up. How much does that thing contain? Only 200 kilograms. But the Atmos suit also contains 200, so that's 400 kilograms of oxygen. And when you stop to think about it, that's a lot of oxygen. Somebody pick up this Atmos suit and bring it over there. There we go. I had to say sweep. Okay, and I will re-enable all this stuff. I think I have all the door access. Once I get it set up here, should be correct. So just Frank and Meep can go in and out of here. Mima is the only one that can go inside of here. So there's a couple of instances here where there's potential that somebody, if they're just like idle, they might wander in here for whatever reason and then take off their suit. But they would also have to put it back on in order to leave. So I'm not sure. Maybe that's just an opportunity to charge their suit up. Maybe there's some points around the map that you do that so that they can go and get some fresh oxygen. Let's say if we're doing some work over here, but we also have like something way up over here as well. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I'm curious to see how this actually works out. For what it's worth, it looks like all my duplicates here decided to pretty much wander inside the room that they were supposed to be in. So there we go. Marie, Mima, Frank, and Meep. So she jumped into the suit right there. I'm just gonna disable this building because I don't need it at this point. Yeah, they're all running around in their little suits. Look at Frank and Meep. Look at him go. All he has is light wounds. All right, so I gotta heal up Frank and Meep if possible. Let's see if he can go over there. Oh, he took his little suit off while he was getting fixed up. This might become a problem. I've heard hatches might eat. Okay, they don't. Bubbles is highly confused. Dr. Camille. All right, here, I'm just gonna move them into their location so that they all get the idea, right? There you go, Bubbles. Now you're inside. Dr. Camille. Yes, you have to be in your suit. Frankenmeat. Well, he's getting fixed up. Marie also needs to be assigned to the bed. This might be a problem. Gosh, and Bubbles too. Everybody. They're all broken. But look at them. They're bringing their little personal bubbles around. Oh, and they throw it back on before they go back. That's awesome. look at Frankenmeat. He's taking a shower with his suit on. The outside got a little dirty. Okay, so the bladder was -10 per cycle, right? Because the Atmos suit gets rid of, I guess, their need to go to the bathroom. Breath is up. Stamina. What about their stress? Well, they really have like 0 to core expectations, so. Oh, look at Marie! Uh-oh, she's found. See, this is what I was talking about. Okay, so I allowed access through this door, but not this door. And now look at Marie. She's charging up her suit, but then she's like, oh, I'm gonna go somewhere else, but I can't go anywhere else. But I'm gonna go somewhere else, but I can't go anywhere else. Oh, no. She's stuck. She's stuck in a loop. Somebody help her. Oh, and look at Bubbles. Bubbles is stuck on the other end, too. Okay, so it works, but you have to set the door access to this side right here. So Marie, you need to go somewhere else. Go over here. Okay. And Bubbles, move over here. Okay, so now with this disabled, and I can just set this to, default in and out. That means these duplicants can run anywhere now, and they're gonna be just absolutely fine. I've got a bunch of little astronauts running around. This is an awesome idea. I love this. Is it going to be patched? Yes, probably. At some point. They probably won't be able to take a shower inside of their suit. But we saw what they did with the medical beds. They just kind of took it off and healed up and then stuck it back on. But yeah, they can eat right through their little suits. Okay, let's see if I can move everybody to the same location. I want to get a nice little picture here for you. And say cheese, everybody. Cheese! Okay, so the other thing that I was going to do here is I'm going to create a water lock over here for this, to separate these two areas. So now that I have a nice system for moving my duplicants around without being exposed to horrible polluted oxygen, I still want to keep that polluted oxygen away from this stuff because my base, for the most part right now, it's absolutely open. Although I have lots and lots of oxygen, so the germs don't stick around forever, but clearly this over here is not showing any signs of slowing down as far as the amount of polluted oxygen that's in that space. So what I can do is I can deconstruct this right here, get rid of this because I no longer need this, and then just design in a water lock system. So this will be interesting and useful for you guys if you've never done this before. I can empty out these bottles of oxygen. Look at all that oxygen that just went into that space. Look at that, 24 kilograms. See, that's what I was talking about. There's a lot of oxygen inside of those areas. So that is one method, I guess, if you need to get a lot of something, a lot of gas or a lot of oxygen, I guess, into one spot. Maybe that's a crazy method. I don't know. I suppose you could bottle up liquid oxygen and then just, empty that out. I wonder what happens when liquid oxygen inside of a bottle warms up. Does it become oxygen? Or will it stay liquid? The questions. Let's deconstruct this real quick so I don't have to worry about all of this. And for a liquid lock system, all you need is a little puddle of water that you run through, and then you can jump through a tile so that the duplicants can kind of just move through it. For my liquid lock, I'm going to use a corner lock method. Now, that was shared with me by via a comment as well. As far as we saw that, and that was also shown in the video where we were using the naphtha to liquid lock things out. However, you can do it with water, and that's what I'm going to do right here. So if I put a drop of water on top of here, that's going to make that tile, that'll be water. Now I want to be able to jump down here, so if I do this number with the wall and just have a drop of water right there, then boom, I'm good. and I don't even have to worry about it. Alternatively, I can also kind of double my odds by doing this number and also putting another drop right there. Now, I'll need to do some stuff in order to make sure that I can actually get the water to where I want it to go, I guess. Now, what I'm going for here is to just have one tile. So let's say we were not inside of our suits, right? We're not using the suits. We don't want to have the full debuff of being sopping wet, which is 20% per cycle for, I think, 0.3 of a cycle. What we'd rather have is like wet feet, which is only 10%, so it's half the debuff. So that's what I'm going for with this setup. I wish I could sweep these and take them somewhere, but they're kind of stuck there. Like, I cannot move the Atmos suits, so I'm just gonna like move them over here. There we go. So if I turn this to water now, oh, do I have any crude oil available? I might be able to pump a little bit of crude oil. Yeah, you know what? Let's use crude oil, just for the simple sake of it. How hot is that? 121 degrees Celsius. Holy. We'll do one with water and one with crude oil, because, you know, why not? So here, liquid, and if I turn this to water and I say enable auto bottling, you should see a bottle that comes over here, and then I just disable this and get rid of it. Alright, so here comes Mima. Dun 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 dun. Bloop. Okay, so that's a little bit of water. So now that that is done emptying, what we can see here is we have water in this tile, only 37 grams, but down here I also have some extra water that I may or may not be able to actually just mop up. And then I'll have some other water that'll end up right here, but this will be oil for the sake of it, right? Why not? So I'm going to have a pitcher pump, but it's made of abyssalite. We'll make that a nice high priority. And here's a good test. This is 85 degrees Celsius. So what duplicant that's running through here, are they going to be hurt? Or is their suit going to protect them? Oh, they still have soggy feet, even if they're inside of the suit. So this is actually a good thing that I did that instead of the other. Now you'll see here they'll end up with sopping wet, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe. How'd you get soggy feet? Did you pee on the floor, Bubbles? Is that what happened? Yeah, see, they're no longer getting burnt going through here, so that's nice. And they're also not getting the debuff. It's kind of OP, isn't it? Gosh, that is really, really hot. And I'm going to move it all the way over here. And I'm probably going to turn some of this stuff into steam. But I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. Look at the temperature. This is going to be terrible. What a horrible idea. Okay, so I will quickly deconstruct this. Oh. Well, that emptied quickly. What about the temperature that it gave off? It really didn't move that much crude oil. How about that? Okay. That worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to. So if I deconstruct that, and then mop up this. No floor. I can't necessarily mop that. And where'd your suit go, Bubbles? What the heck? Oh, darn it. You sneaky bubble, you. Finding your way out through the bathroom door. That's right, you don't get to go through this door. Let's see what happens. I shouldn't need any liquid in this spot. Alright, so now that we're mopping this up, yeah, see, I'm left with crude oil over here and a little bit of water there. So no matter how bad this gets, it shouldn't be able to flow inside of here, although it looks like it's really wanting to. Let's find out. I'm going to crank open this door, and I'm just going to let it go. Okay, so if I open up all of these, we will expose this to a lot of polluted oxygen. Let's see what happens here. Gosh, I already have some germs. Where are these germs coming from? Oh, this right there. Oh, no big deal. Open, open. How many duplicants are running through here? Jeez. Alright. Okay, so on this side over here to the left, there's only 500 grams of oxygen. But over here on the right, look at this. Kilograms of stuff. So this liquid lock seems to be working pretty good. And if I keep hovering right in this one spot that's between the two locks, let's see if it changes. It does look like it changes when the duplicants run through it, potentially. This might not be the ideal lock for a high traffic area as compared to something that's too tall and you just kind of go through some water, especially if you have exosuits already available to you. Nevertheless, the oxygen over here on the left is not really changing. You know, it seems to be working. All right, well, there you have it, guys. I think that worked out really good. I mean, all my duplicants are running now around in exosuits, and they couldn't be happier. I mean, look at the stress. 0 across the board. Exosuits are the most OP thing in the game at the moment. I love it, though, and this will really allow me to get into some of these areas and work on the natural gas generators and work on all this crazy stuff without worrying about all the ear popping and everything. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to continuing to build out this guy and also do some of the other fun things here. Maybe start to work a little bit with this oil now that I have access to it. So thank you guys for watching this episode. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, found it somewhat informative or helpful or just plain enjoyable. And if I've earned your subscription, then thank you so much for that. Stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out.